28 minutes on to 7 o'clock. I don't know something about this song, man. It's infectious. Yeah. The bass line in this song. The lyrics also, man. That's the part I like. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Wherever you are.
Yesterday, today, forever. You never change, you never change, you never rearrange. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Without you in my life, what I go do, what I go do, that I go dead. If I don't have you, here comes Jesus.
Never ever.
Father, you never ever fail me, yeah. You never.
Always comes true.
Lord, you never ever fail me, yeah.
Go out with that mindset today.
When I fall down, your love keep me safe and sound.
Yeah.
You never, never ever fail me, yeah. You never, never, Father, you never ever fail me, yeah. Lord, you never ever fail me, yeah. When I fall down, your love keep me safe and sound. You never,
27 minutes on to 7 o'clock.
you never ever.
That's the time. Know that he never failed and he never will because he can't.
You never,
Omnipotent, omniscient rather. Yeah, what's wrong with me this morning, boy?
ever.
Good morning to you, Tanti Marcy, Kisha, Khalil, the folks at Care Bears. Good morning, Tanti from Tempe. I want Tanti vexed with me this morning. Good morning to you. Hope everybody's fine, Mr. Jeremiah. Good morning to you. Small Axe, how you doing? Everybody good? Nice. Well, it's our time again. This is the time when we get into the meat of the matter. It's time for the morning lineup right here. That is where we give you some things to start your day right. And folks, I'm working on something. I'm working on a quiz with prizes on mornings. And for those of you who won prizes from the March 13th celebration quiz that took place, all right, I'll have some word on the prizes for you during the course of the morning. All right. So let not your weary heart be troubled. Your prizes are forthcoming. Let us look at the word of the day. The word of the day today, it is a nice word. I like it. It is a plural noun. And it is shenanigans. Shenanigans. Yeah, that's a nice word. shenanigans. And as I hinted, it is a plural noun. And shenanigans is an informal word used to refer to mischievous or bold activity or behavior, or to dishonest or questionable practices or conduct. Its oldest meaning, though, and the one most likely to be encountered as the singular shenanigan, is a devious trick used especially for an underhanded purpose. All right, shenanigans. We can use the word this way. Reunited at the class reunion, the school's most notorious pranksters were instantly back to their old shenanigans, cracking up their former classmates with hilarious toasts during dinner. You can also say the CEO resigned amid accusations of financial shenanigans and dubious deals. Write it down, learn to spell it, learn to pronounce it. Most importantly, learn to use it interchangeably. Yeah? It's 24 minutes until 7 o'clock. Let's take a peek at the thought of the day. And the thought of the day today is, honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Some folks can't afford to be honest. Yeah? Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Alright? Nice. Good. 23 minutes onto the 7 o'clock hour. And Veronica Sandy says, good morning, GBN. Good morning, Grenada Carriacou, PD Martinique. Good morning, Gordon Innocent Joseph. Blessings to all. Blessings to you also. Mary Ebang says, good morning. Good morning, Mary. Catherine Phillips says, good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Innocent. Have a wonderful and safe day. Well, the same goes out to you all right? Nice. So what's buzzing this morning? Let's see what's buzzing this morning. All right, well, the government of Grenada will hold a press conference at 10 a.m. today. And the press conference will be facilitated by the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, National Security, Home Affairs, Public Administration, Information and Disaster Management. Also, the Honorable Andy Williams, the Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation. And also Mr. Mike Sylvester, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance. The topics that will be discussed include bi-monthly payments, ministerial portfolio change, ending of cap on freight, and water access and sanitation in homes, which is the WASH initiative. Okay, we also see that a free veterinary service has been reintroduced to livestock farmers in Carriacou and PD Martinique. The aim is to improve the quality of animals reared on the island. Yeah, good. The upgraded Princess Royal Smart Hospital and the Hillsborough Smart Healthcare Center were recently handed over to the Ministry of Health. The handover is part of the Pan American Health Organization's Smart Healthcare Facilities in the Caribbean project. Good things, nice things. Yeah. I'd love to see our district health facilities be upgraded so that it would reduce the cluster of people rushing to the main hospitals, be it the Maribor or the Princess Alice Hospital, the General Hospital, the Mount Royal, and so forth. The district health facilities are upgraded and properly staffed. It will minimize the number of patients visiting the main hospitals, you know. Sometimes people rush to the General Hospital or the other auxiliary hospitals for minor issues that, in my opinion, can be dealt with at the district level. So that's a good thing. I like this. Now, also buzzing this morning as the NDC administration continues to execute plans to pay all public servants semi-monthly as of April 15th, that's this month. The Ministry of Finance is calling on pensioners to be part of an online consultation this week. Now, this is to facilitate any queries or concerns of pensioners on the matter. Join the process. More information will be forthcoming as to how you can be a part of this online conversation. All right, good, nice. Now, to reduce the impact of unprecedented freight increases due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the government capped freight at the 2019 level on all goods imported into Grenada with effect from October 1st, 2022 for a 6-month period. As a result of this relief measure, government gave up $5.4 million in revenue. Now that the freight levels have normalized and are roughly back to the 2019 levels, government will not extend this relief measure, which expired last Friday, March 31st, 2023. The government thanks the businesses who supported this policy and passed on the benefits from the lower freight costs to the final consumer. The public is therefore reminded that several other cost relief measures, including the removal of VAT, food and other essential items and the $10 electricity subsidy, remain in place, consistent with the government's commitment to tackle imported inflation adversely affecting food and energy costs for citizens. So these are the stories that are buzzing this morning. I like this. One of the things I would like to hear from you, how do you think, and start putting your thoughts together so that when you call, you can be as brief as possible. All right. How do you think the bi-monthly payment will affect, employees and people who get paid monthly? How do you think getting paid twice per month, how do you think? Do you think it's a positive thing or a negative thing? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How will it affect the populace? So that's one of the things that I would like us to talk about, and also the handing over of the smart hospital and the smart healthcare centers in Kiariaku. Also, what is, how do you think we stand to benefit if all our district medical centers are upgraded and improved, So those are the stories that we are hoping to talk about in the conversation this morning. So quickly before we run off, the word of the day is shenanigans, and it is an informal word used to refer to mischievous or bold activity or behavior, or to dishonest or questionable practices or conduct. The thought of the day: honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Please be guided accordingly. Those of you who are locked with me on K105.5 and 9, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather coming up. And for those of you on the television platform, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. Stick and stay with us. We'll be back with you. Don't you go anywhere.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you. No, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands. We got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time, next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. As the NDC administration continues to execute plans to pay all public servants semi-monthly as of April 15th, the Ministry of Finance is calling on pensioners to be part of an online consultation this week. This is to facilitate any queries or concerns of pensioners on the matter. Rena Pierre-Thomas tells us more.
On April 6th, the Ministry of Finance will be hosting an online consultation for all pensioners in Grenada to discuss the government's move to pay all public officers semi-monthly. The method of payment is expected to be implemented on April 15th, but before doing so, pensioners are given the opportunity via Zoom platform to lay out any concerns or queries on the payment. Chief Public Communications Officer Ruth Roberts in the Ministry of Finance explains.
What we want to do actually is to have a consultation with the pensioners because they are also going to be paid semi-monthly. And so on Thursday, which is the 6th of March, we are trying to gather all the pensioners together in a Zoom meeting at 2 p.m. So because we do not have the information for most of them or a lot of them, we are still building the database. We want to be able to gather them together so that they can join this meeting if they have questions or comments or maybe whatever it is that they may need to know relative to their payments, right? So we just want to send this message out to pensioners.
Robert says that the Zoom link will not be shared publicly, and as such is asking pensioners to call the Ministry of Finance to get the information needed to be part of Thursday's forum. If a pensioner is not able to attend the consultation, they can designate an individual to do so on their behalf.
So they can call the Ministry of Finance 440-2731, and they can also call 435-0058 or 440-2294. We're giving you a number of different numbers, so at least they can call in just in case they didn't get through. So if they call 440-2731, they can ask for extension 31182, right? And they can call the Accountant General's office 440-2294. They can use the 417-8112. That's my WhatsApp number, and we'll be able to kind of redirect them accordingly. So 417-8112.
The Chief Public Communication Officer explains how the semi-monthly payment will be made.
Right, so payments will be made on the 15th and the 30th of every month. And in the instance when the dates are on a weekend or a public holiday, the payments will be made on the last working day prior to the set dates. So on the 15th and the 30th, payments will be made for all public officers and pensioners.
The Finance Ministry is encouraging pensioners to contact the ministry to take advantage of discussions so any misinformation can be cleared up. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
Government has said it will not extend the cap on freight relief. The measure was implemented to reduce the impact of unprecedented freight increases due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On October 1st last year, government capped freight at the 2019 level on all goods imported into Grenada for a 6-month period. The measure expired last Friday, March the 31st, and government, via release on Monday, says there will be no further extension as freight levels have normalized and are roughly back at the 2019 levels. The cap on freight meant government forfeited approximately $5.4 million in revenue. Other cost relief measures, which include the removal of value-added tax on 19 food items and other essential items, and the $10 electricity subsidy, remain in place. Government is moving forward with its bid to adjust the minimum wage, and your thoughts on the matter are needed. A number of public engagements are scheduled to take place beginning this week, and most are taking the form of town hall meetings. Here's an update.
A series of town hall meetings aimed at adjusting the minimum wage will be facilitated by the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation for the Ministry of Labor. The first meeting takes place at the Grenada Boys Secondary School auditorium beginning at 6 p.m. The meeting will target trade unions, the Employers Federation, as well as employers and employees. The goal of these meetings is for the Wage Advisory Committee to gather public input on issues related to the general minimum wage, as well as the sectoral, local, and gender-based wage disparities. Economist Dr. Cullen Gilchrist is chair of government's Wage Advisory Committee.
With the whole idea of transforming Grenada, our committee decided, with the blessings of the government, to take a comprehensive look at wages in Grenada for all sectors, all occupation. And so what we have been doing, my committee is will comprise of 3 representatives from the Employers Association, 3 from the unions, and 2 appointed by the government. Okay. Yes, so that's the composition of the committee, and we have been meeting weekly. Our objective is to meet with employers and also meet with employees and see if we could get common grounds on adjusting the minimum wage that by law an employer can pay an employee.
Okay.
Dr. Gilchrist, speaking on Good Morning Grenada, says that compared to other regional countries, Grenada's wages rank the lowest.
If you look at Grenada in the context of the OECS countries, and I'm saying OECS because we share a common dollar, it's a monetary union, we have one financial space, and we have an economic union, and we are the lowest paid.
In the region? In the OECS?
In the OECS. Our salaries are the lowest. And this is something that is affecting Grenada.
Minimum wage meetings will continue in St. David on Wednesday, April 12th, followed by a meeting in St. Andrew on April 19th, Carriacou and Petit Martinique on April 26th, on May 3rd in St. Mark, and the series of meetings will conclude in St. Patrick on May 10th. All meetings are scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. Cherry and Blackburn Stephen, GBN News.
A beautiful highlight from the Intercall Games, a byproduct of the competition on the tracks. Beverly Tellisford zeroes in on one of the most touching moments of Intercall 2023.
Gone. And they're gone. Clean start, good start. Everybody's up and running, even. But here comes Raquel Telemann. Raquel Telemann, he's under pressure. Bishop, Telemann does it. At the tape, Telemann does it.
In the young men's 100 meters senior. And I mean, Raquel Telemann was under tremendous pressure from the start and managed only to pull it off with the last 5 meters to go. Man, this is indeed a miraculous run by Telemann. I thought he was done and out, and I thought he was done.
That was the moment that touched the hearts of many Grenadians. 19-year-old Raquel Telemann kicked off his spikes and bolted into the stands and into the arms of his mother, Salisha Brizan Telemann, after winning the 100-meter senior boys race in 10.58 seconds at the just concluded Republic Bank Intercall Games. The two described the emotions that came with the moment.
I saw him looking for me, and then I raised the flag and I said, "Yes, baby, you did it." And I see him float his shoes. I was like, "Oh, you move!" And then I started to run to him as well. And when he came, we hugged each other, and he was there. "Yes, mommy, I did it. I did it." It was a very sad moment. The tears started to come. It was a very sad moment.
Because of what I've been going through, I sat and talked to my mom. I've been asking her, why me? Yeah, because mentally, I wasn't at my best mentally, but she motivates me to be a better person each day. So in my head, I said to myself that this has to be for my mom. So the night before the 100 meter, I visualized myself winning the race, and at that time execute the race. And I didn't tell her that I was coming to hug her. I said I'll just do it with God's timing, and if everything goes well, then I'm gonna just do it. Yeah, so when the race is done and I want the time, I looked for her instantly, and I just ran to her, took off my spikes on top, and I just dashed up and I just hugged her, and the tears came out, and I saw the tears in her eyes as well. So, and then I hugged her and said, "This one is for you."
It wasn't always athletics. Raquel Telemann had been playing football before making the impromptu decision to pursue athletics, one his mother hadn't always supported.
I started athletics in 2021, to be exact, and I didn't really have a reason. I just said, why not join athletics? I dropped the football, and my mom, she was pissed at me for dropping the football because, I had scholarships and stuff for the football, but I just decided, that I wanted to do athletics. But, my mom was against that, right? So I told her that I'm gonna work hard every living day just to prove that this is what I really wanted to do.
He just came, "Mom, I don't want to play football anymore. I want to run." "Why you don't want to play football?" "I just don't want to play football anymore." "Mom, believe in me, I could do it, and I will prove to you that I could do it." At first, I never used to go, but then last year, when in sports, since after sports last year, that's when I started all his meets. I am there. Look for me in the front. I am there. Me and his aunts, his cousins, everybody. His grandmother, she always watching online. The whole family supports him.
The Presentation Brothers College student will be competing in a number of events as he joins the Grenada Carifta team for the 2023 edition of the Games, carded for Friday 7th April to Monday 10th April 2023 at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in the Bahamas. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
A free veterinary service is being reintroduced to livestock farmers in Carriacou and Petit Martinique by the government. The aim is to improve the quality of animals reared on the island. More in this report.
Farmers on the sister isles are taking advantage of the veterinary services offered by the government of Grenada. The free service, which was recently reintroduced, offers veterinary care to all livestock farmers in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. The free livestock service to farmers on the island was discontinued a few years ago. Lisa Walker, Assistant District Agriculture Instructor in Carriacou, says many livestock farmers are happy with its return.
Well, so far it's going really good, excellent. We have a lot of requests because, given the time span, there were no veterinary service being done. So as it's up and running, we haven't got a break as yet. From emergencies to simple animal care, it has been going good. And we're in the dry season, so it's a lot of work. We're trying to sensitize farmers on how to care for the animal in the dry season. We're trying to tell them about what they need to feed them, to help maintain their metabolic strength during the dry season. So far the response is okay.
With the islands experiencing an extreme dry season, a number of tips are being offered so farmers can better care for their animals. One of these is to refrain from reproducing, as both babies and mother can die from the heat and lack of food.
What we're trying to do now at Limle is introduce a forage bank with different types of legumes and grasses. So we have forage at the end. So farmers will come there, get the forage, and all will be green. So you'll have the trichantera, you'll have the cane, you will have the gloricida, you'll have the lucina, you'll have the sorghum. You could integrate it in your feeding system for your animals. And that's when you do that, then you could say, okay, we're going to breed during the dry season as well. So cut back on your flock. When you're giving them the water, you don't have to give them the plain water. You could put a little molasses in it. You could put a little stress mix in it because the dry season, they stress.
Veterinary surgeon Dr. Linton Andrew, who leads the team, outlines some of the issues that are common on the sister isle.
The main problem is the area in which they house the animals. They need to improve, and I think because there was not a veterinary surgeon or a good technician like Miss Lisa Walker, the people are accustomed to the old-fashioned. So it will be very difficult to really get them into this very quickly. It'll take time. And but really a problem I have here is that a lot of animals roam the street. I mean, it doesn't look good because people come to me and they say it destroys the products and so on. So you need to build proper housing. We have a lot of problems here with parasites. For example, things like strongyloides, trichomona, hymoncus, and that's because a lot of the sheep and the goat, they have to go right down to the bottom of the grass to really eat the grass. So you see a lot of parasites in the grass and so on. A lot of them will die of this problem, even coccidiosis. But the problem with coccidiosis, they need is in a pen. If the pen is dirty, you will find coccidia.
Improving the quality of livestock reared on the sister isle by improving the techniques used by the farmers are some of the key services offered by the veterinary team. The hope is that the program can open doors for a regional market for farmers, which will further grow the industry. For GBN News, I am Rena Pet Thomas reporting.
The upgraded Princess Royal Smart Hospital and the Hillsborough Smart Health Center were recently handed over to the Ministry of Health. The handover is part of the Pan American Health Organization's Smart Health Care Facilities in the Caribbean project. Beverly Telesford has the details.
Grenada is now home to 5 Smart Gold level standard health facilities. The Princess Royal Smart Hospital and the Hillsborough Smart Health Center, together with the first retrofitted facility, the Princess Alice Smart Hospital, as well as the Richmond Home for the Elderly and the Central Medical Stores, make up 5 smart facilities, which mark the completion of the retrofitting stages of the Smart Healthcare Facilities project in Grenada. All facilities have earned an A on the Hospital Safety Index and are the first in Grenada to be over 70% green. Dr. Amalia Del Riego, Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, said the recent handovers mark significant achievements of the partnership between government, PAHO, and the United Kingdom's Department for International Development. Dr. Del Riego expounded on the significance of a smart health facility.
A smart that really speaks to safe and resilient against the various hazards that we face, including hurricanes and other natural hazards. More sustainable, which means the facilities will use less water and electricity to run. We will have less footprint to the environment and less damage to the environment, so therefore making our contribution to reducing the effects of climate change. And more functional with improved patient flow. That is a very important feature.
Resident British Commissioner to Grenada, Victor Clark, said the UK chose to fund the project for a number of important reasons.
The reason the UK looked to fund this particular innovative project is because we're really committed to helping protect vulnerable community resources here in Carriacou and Petit Martinique and also in Grenada, particularly against the risks of future storms and disasters and the increased risk from climate change that we are all experiencing right across the world.
Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs, Sevan Andrew, welcomed the assistance of PAHO and the UK government.
But let me just put on record my thanks on behalf of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and the staff of the Princess Royal Hospital and the Hillsborough Health Centre, how grateful we are to the people and government of the United Kingdom and of course to PAHO for implementing this project. We really appreciate the efforts that you have made and of course look forward to other partnerships as we transform or continue to transform our healthcare system on the island of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and by extension Grenada.
Safety aspects included installing a windproof roof, windows and doors, the walls were strengthened, the electrical wiring was updated, and a sewage treatment plant and an improved fire protection system were installed. Functional aspects of the refurbishment included specific improvements in accessibility for the disabled, telecommunications, backup power, and infection control. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, says they're concerned about acts of violence involving the nation's youth. Terry Ann Blackman-Stephen reports.
The lens of the GBN camera on Friday morning captured a number of teenage children in the courtyard. It was an observation that reminds one of a concern expressed recently by Attorney-at-Law Jerry Edwin.
And society has left it up to the police and the magistrates' courts to really deal with what is a structural family problem that has bourgeoned into a crisis. So we see that on Family Day in the magistrates' courts, 90% of the parents who are present representing children who have broken the law are mothers, no fathers.
The GUT leader's voice now adds to several echoing the same sentiment. In a recent interview with GBN, Jude Bartholomew, president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, said all stakeholders must act to solve this issue.
There are some parents, if the teacher, probably discipline the child, the teacher may not always be right in the circumstances, but there are parents who are reasonable. They will come in a peaceful way to solve and to think to trash out. But there are situations and instances where teachers, they are probably afraid to really and truly talk to the students or to solve the problem, because as soon you don't know what direction to tread. Because if you go too hard, sometimes you have one or two parents who just venture into school and you see what is coming in with family members. And I don't think there is an avenue based on the Education Act and the government of Grenada, the laws, to deal with certain problems in school and grievances.
He said even in schools, socially branded as good schools, acts of violence are happening.
We want the government, we want want the union, we want society, everybody. So it's not just putting blame on what end, but whatever the problem is, we must come together to have a discussion. I would put on record here, sometimes these organizations that come internationally and they say they claim the rights of children, sometimes in a situation which is good, but sometimes they do in one sense more harm than good.
Bartholomew said Grenada remains a peaceful country as he draws comparison to neighboring countries grappling with major acts of violence. He said that students must also be responsible for their actions as rights come with responsibility. Drawing reference to international laws that protect the rights of the child, he said some students remind teachers and even their parents of their rights, in some cases resulting in adults loosening their control. He said there must be a balance because if this trend continues, it will get out of control, and that's not the direction we want Grenada to go. He said the GUT has put forward its concern about violence in schools to the Ministry of Education. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Now, I don't know about you, but if a cow turns its head and stares at me, and I mean really stares, not just when they're eating grass and looking off, but really stares, I am going to get as far away as fast as I can. So this next clip could be a mixed case of fear and concern. Let's see what you think. It's time for your GBN ISA.
Our citizen journalist tonight is concerned about the way livestock is being handled in Telescope St. Andrew. They submitted a photo where access was delayed by a cow or cattle tied to an electric pole. The excess rope was hung up on a cable connecting the pole to the ground. He's appealing to cattle owners to exercise safety, caution, and consideration for the public, animal, and property when tying animals. He said caution must be taken to avoid animal entanglement or even electrocution of animals. Our ISA reporter believes cattle owners must ensure cattle are not a nuisance or threat to the public by blocking access to roadways or entrances or tied in areas where the animal can attack anyone. We thank our citizen journalists for their submission and hope their concerns can be addressed. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Grenada, after 10 years.
Hey, Grenada, this is Pastor Donnie McClurkin, and get this, I am coming to the land of spice.
The multi-award-winning Pastor Donnie McClurkin is back live at the Grenada National Stadium for one night of praise and worship, where your hearts will be lifted heavenward, joined by some of Grenada's finest gospel talent, Lexton Mitchell, Edson Mitchell, Ajabo, Spice Worship Ministries, Nicole Fletcher Newton and Company, Touch of Grace, and the PBC Choir. Tickets are on sale now, $50, and can be found at all major ticket outlets and at your local churches. Don't miss this unique experience with classic songs like Stand, We Fall Down, Caribbean Medley, Great Is Your Mercy, and many more. Friday, 7th April 2023 at 7 p.m.
Got my mind made up, and I won't turn back because I want to see my Jesus someday.
Grenada, the concert you've been waiting for is coming. Digicel Reggae Fest. Digicel Reggae Fest, the big show. April 15th, National Stadium. Get ready to welcome Jamaica's iconic superstar. Shout out Ranks.
I'm not going to a circus, I'm not going to a fair. Come around, stand on the place. Get up, stand up, and come around. Reggae people.
Shout out Ranks.
The
First Lady of Reggae, Marcia Griffiths. Marcia Griffiths, the lady soul provider, Romaine Virgo. From the Morgan family, welcome, Gramps Morgan. And performing live, Grammy-winning superstar, Kofi. Kofi. Along with our very own Tamara Songbird and Akeem. 6 international artists, 4 live bands, 1 night, 1 venue, 1 big show. Get your early bird tickets now for only $100. VIP $500 at advertised outlets, or get them live on gotofed.com. Saturday, April 15th. Get ready for the big show. Digicel Reggae Fest. You don't want to miss this one.
right, welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's time for the conversation this morning. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. You've made a great choice, and happy to have you with us this morning. Quickly, let's just look back at the word of the day, and it is the word shenanigans. And also the thought of the day: honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. As I hinted to you today, the conversation. Well, as you know, we've got a press conference at 10 o'clock, which will be facilitated by the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, and also Mr. Andy Williams, Honorable Andy Williams, and Mr. Mike Sylvester. All right, and what they will be talking this morning is the bi-monthly payment, the ministerial portfolio change, and ending of cap on freight, and also the WASH initiative, water access and sanitation in home. All right. Okay, so we'll talk. What I really want us to talk on this, I'd like to hear from you on that. You can talk on any of the issues that I mentioned, but I'd like to specifically hear from you on the issue of bi-monthly payment. How do you think it will affect the country, the economy, the workforce, the homes, life in general? How do you think it will affect that? And also the recently handing over of the two health facilities in Carriacou, the Smart Homes, Smart Hospital and the Smart Health Center. And what are your thoughts on the possibility of upgrading all our district health centers? We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent. Innocent, how you do?
I am alive and very thankful. How about you?
Very good.
Nice. I like to hear that.
Well, Innocent, I missed the topic by the time I walked in from here today.
Okay.
And I am, while I was on my way, you were talking about the wages and so on. Is this...
Yeah.
Can I say something on that, on wages?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yes. Mr. Innocent, if I may say that I'm a geriatric carer trained from the Trillium, Toronto. And I tell you, coming back home, that lots of people have discussed the geriatric care with. They refuse to do that job, to take it as profession. Why? Two reasons. The wages are very low, and then they treat you like, you're not human. And I think this is my profession. And I think that this is a most needed profession in Grenada here. But if they could, the people are working, doing this job for like $450, $500 per month. So I am suggesting if the minimum wage on that field, that profession, could move like to $100 minimum per day. That is if you're working day, and if you're working night, it's 2 shifts. But somebody shouldn't be working, doing in my field, under $100. Now, Innocent, when I look at the poverty range in Grenada, now I believe that the government of the past responsible for it, and I'll tell you why. I must say that I'm very sorry that this administration have to take up that responsibility. But if the government had proper wages in the past from estate come down, then today the people wasn't going to be in that depth of poverty because they was working for nothing like slaves. So they had no meaning of education, educating the children, putting aside something, building a future. Hence the reason why poverty is so rampant in Grenada.
Okay.
But if this government would put a decent wage, then the poverty level in a couple of years with the young generation, with all this education and so on, then government will not have this amount of this level of poverty. And then I'm wondering if Mr. Gilchrist is looking at the poverty level, which he spoke about regarding the senior citizens, better known as old people. These people are way below poverty. They are getting a little something. And Mr. Innocent, I'm talking about the people who cannot help themselves. And majority of these people are domestic workers, estate workers, road workers. These are the majority of below poverty level people in Grenada.
Okay.
Now, I'm wondering if their little money is included. Because, Mr. Innocent, these old people, give me a second, please. These old people, they are waiting. Time is not on this side. I'm begging that if they can get at least a little 500, so add a 200 with the 300 and up.
Okay. All right.
Well,
okay, thank you for your concerns. And have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. 435-2041, that's the number to call to get in on the conversation. It's 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. 435-2041. Let's quickly take a look at what's happening on our Facebook page. Those of you who usually follow us on YouTube, well, the GBN YouTube channel is back up. Grenada Broadcasting Network, that YouTube channel is back up. Let's take a call. Good morning, caller.
Mister.
Good morning.
I just hate the word old people.
Why?
I know, even you in belly, you are old. So, when you talk about old people, it gives me the idea that you cannot do anything. You're old, so you cannot work for plenty money. Let's put it so.
Okay.
I would say that it's good to have a minimum wage. But I'm asking myself, how are you going to distribute the wages to the different classes of people? You have people who can work efficiently. We have people who are lazy. We have people who cannot take what you're advising them to do for you. So I think this is a hard thing. Yes, a minimum wage is all right. But you have about, that's my thinking, 100 classes of different people, different work in the Grenada and other parts of the world.
Okay.
So I think it's a hard thing to do. For example, you have carpenters. How are you going to classify them? Good, bad, or no good, or whatever it is. So you would employ a carpenter to do work for you. He says he's a carpenter. Maybe he don't have the skill as another man, but he wants, yes, let us use that, $100 a day. Would you give him, or is he capable of working for that? So it's a serious thing, but it's a good idea.
Well, I think that's the reason why they're having the consultations and so forth, so that they can, after hearing the concerns of the populace, then they can take a scientific approach to it. Yeah?
Science is the reality of things. So I don't know, if you don't know what the person could produce, what they can do, I don't know how you put this reality into actual use. Anyhow, it's a good thing. Let's see what you'll get. A man as me, they can't even pay me.
Okay.
As I've said,
okay.
I'm a multifaceted man. So I don't know what's my occupation.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, anyhow.
Thank you.
It's a good idea.
Have a good one.
Try it out.
Good. All right. Bye-bye. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. That is the time. 435-2041. That's the number to call to get in on the conversation. And I don't know if people are missing the gist of what I want us to talk about this morning. What are your thoughts on the bi-monthly payment? Getting paid twice per month. How do you think that will affect us? Let's go to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, sir. Morning.
Morning. Welcome to the program.
Mr. Innocent.
Yes, talk to me.
I've never seen. I'm a shopper. And a very noticing shopper, analytical shopper. I could tell you the price of almost any regular shopping goods. I'm not talking about going and buy pants, a shirt or whatever. I'm talking about things that you have to go and use every day in your kitchen or whatever like that, in the household.
Okay.
In almost every supermarket, the different prices and whatever they're about. I'm a noticing shopper. And I've never seen reflected in the price of the goods the cap that was put on by the Prime Minister in the past few months. I've never seen it. And you could find a lot of people who would say the same thing. So I don't know, to hear it in a press conference today, that would change.
Okay.
I'm yet to understand it.
Okay.
But relative to that minimum wage thing, and the whole issue of the labor law that would have to be considered to deal with such a subject matter, here's the problem. If they are not going to change the law or to reflect the minimum wage that is going to be put on, whatever cap that is going to be put on it, you're going to have a problem that the employers are going to have to drop people. When you have a situation like that, is it going to be justified that they have a right to do it because they just cannot pay the wages? You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
When you have a logical thing, you have what do you call it? There's a word that they use for that. Where you say, do you damn, don't you damn.
Yeah, I know that.
So you have 10 workers. You have now a minimum wage that enables you, or by law, you have to pay them more than you're accustomed to. 10 workers. Can you keep the 10 workers? You get the point I'm getting at?
Yeah, definitely.
You might have to drop 5. Now, when you drop the 5, would it be legal? Do you have the right to do it, in other words? And on the basis of which you're going to do it, what enables you to now function as a business? It's okay. Maybe it will take me a whole hour to say everything that I need to say.
And we don't have that, eh?
And I'm not very succinct this morning because I'm not flustered, but I'm kind of angry. Honestly.
Okay.
In the situation, take a look at the mandate that was given to the Labor Commission. The Wage Commission people. Is that 3 years thing? Isn't it given for them for 3 years to look at this whole thing? As far as you know, what the release is. Well, is it a 6 months, a 9 months, or 8 months, a year, or 3 years?
In the conversation I had with the chairman for the Wage Advisory Committee, Dr. Colin Gilchrist, last week, he's hoping to make proposals by June, I think.
By June?
Yeah.
But aren't they given a 3-year mandate? Why is it even so? Is it so? Isn't that a 3-year thing? So if you are given 3 years to get everything in place, why is that so? Is that just a talk shop? This thing doesn't sound right, period.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying right in the sense that the idea is not right, it just doesn't sound as making sense in the given situation. Here you have a situation where the wage in Grenada is low. There isn't money flowing around. The businesses are going down. A whole lot of businesses have been flopping for the past few months in this country. You have this kind of situation. Then you talk about increasing wages. What is going to happen in the process? When even you don't have the labor laws reflecting a proper attitude towards the whole thing.
So, caller,
So,
are you
it's a confusion.
Are you suggesting that it's untimely to consider wage increase at this time?
It is very untimely.
Okay.
And in the given circumstances, it would not work. And check if they are given a 3-year mandate, why? And I think, based on what I remember hearing from the news, that they have been given a 3-year mandate.
Okay.
To look into that whole thing. What is going on?
Well, what I suggest you do, what vicinity are you in? Where are you located?
St. George's area, I say the parish.
All right, so why don't you go to the town hall meeting in the GBSS auditorium tomorrow and voice a concern with the relevant people? You should do that.
What time it is?
It starts at 6, yeah?
Maybe I will be there.
You should, not maybe, you should go there because you seem to be very passionate of what you're saying. So I urge you to go there and be a part and let your voice be heard.
I've been doing it for the past few years, Innocent. A few years now,
Right.
This minimum wage and especially the labor-related aspect to it.
So
I've been dealing with that on the radio program for a few years now.
Well, now you get the opportunity to deal with it directly in the town hall meeting. So go on out, right?
Take care, sir.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, it's 28 minutes after 7 o'clock. A quick look at our WhatsApp platform. My good friend says, good morning, Mr. Innocent. How are you? Well, I am fine. I hope you are enjoying retirement likewise. And said, I do appreciate the upgrading of all medical institutions. I remember when most medical stations had a resident nurse who had done a blessed job. They were even called to deliver babies all hours, even at night. Some of them are still around. Nurse Slinger was one of them at the Paraclete Medical Station. Thank you, nurses and doctors, wherever you are. God bless you. That's the comment of one of our WhatsApp platform. All right. Good morning, Mr. Innocent. Another day of your fair and positive attitude. Thank you. I grew up with my grandmom, so, she gave me those attributes. All right. Let's take a look at our Facebook page. Money Williams says, good morning, GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network. God, Mr. Innocent, my Grenadians, people near and far across the globe viewing this program. I'm participating and watching with you. Happy Tuesday and Holy Week, long time because of work. Blessings and have a fantastic day from New York. All right, have a good one yourself, Monet. Alison Cox Osplund, good morning and happy Easter to all. Marilyn Gordon says, good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Gordon. Blessed day. Same to you. Patricia Hutchinson, good morning, Grenada. Blessings to y'all. All right, Monet says, love the thought and word of the day. Very interesting topic today. Semi-monthly payment would be fine instead of once a month. Who am I to talk for the pension people living in New York, 49 years? Okay, all right. Rochelle Cummings, good morning, Innocent. Happy Tuesday. God loves his children. Bless his name. Amen. Vicky Thomas says, good morning, Mr. Joseph. Please extend birthday greetings to Alpha Faray. Alpha, happy birthday to you, girl. Hey, so where's the party at later, Alpha? Yeah, you can't leave me out of this, you understand? You have to invite me, you have to invite Milton Coy, you have to invite the whole Grenada News Network, that posse. You remember that posse, right? Okay, all right, that was so spectacular, the way that young man ran into his mother's arms. That's a wonderful memory. He can look back and watch and make a very proud guy. Yeah, that was touching too. Yuling Mildred says, good morning, blessed morning, Innocent. Nice, my host voice. Good morning, Judy. Plenty listening to the program. Okay, good morning, good morning. Annette Ragbasin says, caller, don't compare Grenada with Canada, and I'm sure they receive much more than what you are saying. You failed to call out NNP, but you're up now. If you want to work, plain and simple, form a company and hire workers, then pay them your amount. All right. Marilyn Gordon says the changes of the bi-weekly wages is good. If people are new to it, they might think it's not, but it's good, speaking on a personal view. I'll reserve my opinion on that for later. You can't survive on minimum wage. Rising up the wage is compromise, not done overnight. Okay. Tell you what, folks, we take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Island Style's annual Easter clearance sale is here, and boy, do we have some exciting deals for you. Massive savings on tiles to be had with discounts from 10 to 35% off on all tiles store-wide. Buy all we have in the low stock model and watch your discounts skyrocket with a huge 15% off. Plus, get chip edge tiles for as low as $1. Yes, we're clearing out our old stock to bring in the new. And that's not all. The Easter Bunny has added extra savings on tubs, bathroom vanities, tile tools, and so much more. It won't get any better than this. Jump on these excellent deals and visit our Island Style showroom on Monroe Road in Grenada or call 439-TILE. That's 439-8453. Sale ends Holy Saturday. When you think tile, think Island Style.
Sisson's WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Shop at Southern Electrical for all your security camera needs. We offer a wide variety of cameras such as solar cameras with or without lights, 4G cameras, Wi-Fi and PoE kits, 4, 8, and 16 channel, replacement cameras for PoE, standalone Wi-Fi cameras, floodlights with cameras, watch cameras, pen cameras, and much more. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grandin, St. George. Let us help you with your security needs. Southern Electrical, best value, expert advice, quality products.
All right, good morning and welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's 26 minutes on to the 8 o'clock hour. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Innocent. Thanks for giving me the opportunity on the line. Let us go with it. Are you getting a feedback?
No, go right ahead.
All right. Let us start with what you want to hear with the monthly and the half monthly, like get it once a month or twice a month. For me, I'm not talking about for me personal, but for the people, it's evenly balanced. When I say it's evenly balanced, it's easy for some people and it's hard for some people on the monthly side because the month is so long. It's difficult. And let us go only twice a week again.
Twice a month?
What am I saying? Let me say it again. Let us go on twice a month again. It's easy for some people and it's hard for other people. So it's evenly balanced because the same money. I wonder if I'm still on the line.
Yes, you are.
All right, okay. Yeah, it's easy for some people with it twice a month and it's hard for some other people, right? With some other people, if they get it twice a month, they will find, well, the money go down too quick. Once a month, the month taking too long.
Okay.
And some of them, they just give people money to hold, right? Because they feel they have the money, they will spend the money. Well, right now, personal, a man give me money to hold for him because he's free to spend it. But you have to know how to squeeze your money and control yourself. So let me leave it there until next time.
Okay,
so
thank you, caller.
In St. George's.
Have a good one. Have a good one. Alison Cox Osplund says twice a month payment might be fine. It might reduce the monthly arrears because some people may not have money to pay a bill that is due after month end, and then the bill is in arrears, and the bill gets bigger and bigger. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the two topics this morning is very important. The first one I will address is the one with
the bi-monthly payment.
The minimum payment, minimum wage. If you go to some, in terms of Mr. Gilchrist talking about we being the lowest paid in the Eastern Caribbean.
In the OECS, yeah.
You go to some establishment, and some workers act as if they're doing you a favor. I believe what happened is if you get value for money, if I run in a business, nobody go in a business to lose. And if you run in a business and your workers is up to the mark and you're making a reasonable profit, I will not see it. It has to be a real hard to business person to not increase your wage. So I would say until we get this aspect of it, we even in government institutions as well as private institutions, value for money, then I believe definitely people, they need, some people who work in certain establishments need a better pay.
So, caller, are you insinuating that at the moment you are satisfied with the level of pay employees receive in Grenada?
No, I would not. I'd be biased if I said I'm satisfied, because I believe in some situations when you listen to some people, the money they're getting at the month or the end of the fortnight, I think is wrong.
Okay.
You understand? So I believe that could be addressed. Now, the second one, I'm talking about is we talking about the fortnightly thing. I believe it's a good idea. I think one of the biggest problem that has to be instilled in people learning to manage your money. I worked with a British company for 17 and a half years, and they used to pay us every month, but you're free to take a sub, whether in the UK or whether you're in the Caribbean. So, but you have to learn to manage your money.
Okay.
And I believe this is the most important thing, that they may have problems with people feel because I can get money or getting money every fortnight, I can spend it. And I think that is where this fundamental problem comes in.
Okay.
So they had to teach people to manage your money, and I believe the system could work. There would be more money circulating in a better way in the country, and everybody should be able, then business people, government, everybody should be able to do things because money is circulating. When money is circulating, things go better. When money is not circulating, people start crying out.
Okay.
But managing your money is the most important thing. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Have a good one. All right, one of our WhatsApp users says, working on the minimum wage is necessary, but what is needed to teach, demand that if you're being employed, it is your duty to do the job professionally and not just somewhere you plop your butt until payday. If the service industry then serve you tips or reflect your attention to the customers, then you will make more money. Too often, I see poor service. I agree with you. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
The bi-weekly payments, I think, is a very good system to introduce. However, people should be educated on how to budget. That is very important. You get your money every 2 weeks. You can't go and gamble it. You can't go, people should be taught how to save 10% of their salary, how to budget. And also, maybe they may want to consider putting people who are getting assistance from the government, maybe they could put them on a program with food stamps. So you give them the money only for food. So they'll be able to buy what they need and not just what you want. Okay. But I think it's worth trying, and people have to learn to work with the government and work with the system, and I think there's a good potential there.
Thank you, caller. Have a good one. All right, one of my WhatsApp users says, good morning, Innocent and your followers. Can you tell me how many businesses closed down in the last few months? And what type of business? I heard the gentleman say that, but as far as I know, over the last few years, not months, and it's not only locally. Innocent, I find Grenadians do not appreciate what is good for them, and too many are criticizing based on partisan political leanings. So many minds to be transformed. We really need adult literacy classes and a review of a school's curriculum. Ma'am, I couldn't agree with you more. And we have a venue change, the town hall meeting that is scheduled for Wednesday, that's tomorrow. The venue is now the St. George's Anglican Senior School, the school that we call Heinze. All right? So that's the venue change. 435-2041, that's the number to call. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Innocent.
Welcome to the program.
I'm not to call. But consider the beginning of December. Everybody hopes to get a pay early. We don't have a problem with that. It's in a law on, I'm thinking of people are, because as your caller from Kaku say, it's split down the middle in the sense that some people will be a challenge for some, but it's also a good for some. And also, when you consider the fact that it may reduce indebtedness on the part of the people, because people have a tendency to borrow, what we call credit, and sometimes create problems, including enmity, not wanting to pay.
Okay.
So there will be little excuse now, because they can get the pay, so that the small shops and so on that where the credit don't have to pay. So I think we need to be responsible people. We need to help our people to take responsibility.
Let me ask you a question.
I think over the years I find that we are really encouraging infantile behavior. And I'll say this. Years ago, we decided that, people are so childish that we can't sell bottled drinks in certain functions, mainly at Carnival. I'm not saying, I'm not promoting, I'm just saying, we say no because you can't take care of yourself. We're going to sell you, you have to drink the thing in plastic. I'm saying that rather than cultivate a culture of responsibility, we are playing to the infantile tendency of people.
Okay.
And it's really ridiculous.
All right.
No, you asked about the minimum wage. This is something I don't think people get the grasp of, The idea is that you set a base in which people begin to get paid, or which, an employer should pay.
The entry
it
level.
Doesn't mean to say that everybody going to be paid the same thing based on the category, and of course that has to be worked out, and as some people say, the labor laws and all these things will be taken into consideration or should be taken into consideration.
All right.
I think very often we hear too much childish and infantile reaction to anything that we're trying to engage or promote in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Have a good one. Thank you. It's 14 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Before we take a commercial break, our final one in the program, let's quickly look at who's on our Facebook page. Mary Ebang says the minimum wage is an entitlement to all workers, but in light of the cost of living, wages should be increased. Annette Ragbasin says the venue. Okay, thanks, Annette. Yulin Alexander said, when you get your weekly salary, just control it. Know how you're spending, that's all. If you want to spend it bad, well, that's just bad for you. You in the fire, so you Never a dull moment. Love Child Kim says, change is good, Grenadians. Learn to budget yourself, and the 2 weeks payment would work very well. Cynthia Bay says, however you get it, the receiver has to be the one to know how he or she has to do and manage it. All right. Ernesto Jose says, we have some people in Grenada, doesn't matter what the administration does to benefit them, they will condemn, just like the Republicans in the USA. And ask to explain their objections, they can't. Even explain themselves or will hang up. We in Grenada, let me continue this. We in Grenada have the lowest paid minimum wage, and now the second attempt is made by the NDC to change it so people can live a better life with a little more monies on the tables. Some people have a problem with it. Mr. Innocent, can you tell these people election is over and this administration will be in office for the next 20 years? All right, okay. Oh my goodness, never a dull moment. Folks, it's 12 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We've got to take a final commercial break in the segment. We'll be back with a wrap after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
So it begins, a journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service. Are you or your organization interested in becoming an environmental protection and conservation volunteer? Well, this is your opportunity to serve. The Grenada Sustainable Development Trust Fund invites you and your organization to the launch of its Ecosystems Conservation Volunteer Program on Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 at the Grenada Trade Center Annex from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Keynote speaker, Mr. Van Burn Harry, CEO of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Conservation Fund. He will share the experience of SVG and how their program has helped to revolutionize efforts there. Come hear more on how you can become involved in this great initiative and pledge your participation by registering to become a volunteer. For more information, call telephone number 459-9402 or 410-1682 or email us at info@gsdtf.org or ceo@gsdtf.org. The Grenada Sustainable Development Trust Fund looks forward to partnering with you.
God forbid that I should glory save in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world.
Many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction. Remember, April 7th is Good Friday, a day to stand in spirit with Mary and John and the other women at the foot of the cross.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. The final part of the conversation this morning, 8 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Let's go to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Mr. Innocent, a great percentage of us is too innocent, you know.
Okay.
We fail to realize that government wants the money and we want our money. And money goes in a circle or the spending of it. When they pay you, only they get the money only too. They get the tax. So then it will be better and easier to run the country.
All right.
So the earlier they pay you, the better for them. And every 2 weeks they're collecting the taxes, so it will be better for us.
Okay.
I'm glad we are too innocent.
All right.
You have a good name, and I want to call me innocent too.
Yes.
But my brain functioning.
Okay.
I can't tell if it's good or bad, but it's functioning.
Right.
Anyhow, I hope they pay you early.
All right.
So that I'll get the money next month.
You'll get money
Thank
next
you.
month? Have a good one. Miserable old man, man. I can call him that. He's my friend. 7 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Alistair Wahood Sr. says, life is all about discipline. I walk around with a few credit cards. Should I use them every chance I get? It would be ill-discipline of anyone to eat all the food in our refrigerator in 2 days when you shopped to last a week. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Innocent.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Innocent, I'm all for this, you know. My only concern is that the salaries are so small. How you cutting it? That's my concern. Have a good day.
Oh my goodness. So it's too small to share. It's too small to break up. Oh my goodness. Want to say good morning to you, Mr. Mike and Vernice Isaac out there in Hope in St. Andrew. I hope she's watching the TV this morning, all right? She can watch the TV this. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Mr. Innocent.
How you do?
In God's grace.
All right, good.
Innocent, I do not disagree with the bi-monthly payment. But, you know, we as people, we cannot adjust. All our lives, we have been getting paid once a month. And people are set in the ways how they spend the money. And they always spend more than they earn. So now getting money twice a month, they might want double what they are usually doing. They might be getting debt twice times what they just to get.
But you know,
I agree with the callers who suggest that they should, educate people about their money, how to handle money.
That is what I'm getting at. This in itself, right? The thought of paying by monthly, it raises another conversation. Now, has enough been done in instilling money?
Separation of the people's mental faculties.
That is it.
Let me tell you a lot of things. Now, after Ivan, I heard a woman said, all the ornaments and all the this and that she buys, she had in the house, so much thousands of dollars worth of different ornaments and blah, blah, blah. Things that she have on the shelf, on the counter, on the partition, all mash up. Money gone down the drain. You don't have need for these things. And a lot of people spend the money on unnecessary things. And so now that they feel they're getting money twice a month, they pass and the eyes fall on something. They don't need it, but the eyes fall on it and the eyes say, hey, do you want that? And they obey what the eyes say and they buy it and they don't need it.
So it all boils back to discipline.
Learn how to manage their money.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is what you have to learn.
Okay.
Not in the States and some other countries, they get paid by monthly. But you have to learn to manage them. And because, okay, some people, they have to pay, they think about they should pay half of their rent. If it's me, when the money comes, you just go to my account.
Right.
And at the end of the month, as I cost them, I draw money from the bank and I go and do what I have to do.
Well, I know I can't
They don't want to take it. They don't want to keep it in their hand. They could put it in an account.
I can't practice that with my landlord. She says she ain't want no half money. Pay me my money and that's it. So
Well,
it all has to do.
Put the money in your account.
Right.
And so the end of the month, then you draw out your money and you go and pay your bills and you do what you have to do.
Yeah. But it all boils back to personal development, right?
It's how you train yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is one, I don't know, just indulge me for a few seconds. Now, to the point, this program we had last night on...
Beyond the Headlines?
Beyond the Headlines, yeah. They spoke about the runaways and different things and the attitude of children and what and what. Now, the one of the ladies made a reference to a young man who was attending or is attending the Happy Secondary School, who was on your newscast sometime, where he has been transformed from what he used to be to somebody else.
Right.
And, he's encouraging other people to, they could change.
Mm-hmm.
But the important part of what the child said was he had an encounter with God. He met God, and that is what made it change in his life. It's not that what they tell him. You could talk from January to December, and that doesn't change anybody. It's Christ that makes the difference in the life of the person.
Right.
And the young man said that it's God. He credited God for the change in his life.
Okay.
And I don't know why everybody who reference into these, they're not talking about what he said about God. But that is the key. Okay. It is God who made the change in his life. If he didn't have Christ, that change wasn't going to come.
Okay.
I don't know why people hate to hear about God and hate to hear about Christ, and that the relationship to Christ is what makes the difference.
Okay.
So I wish they would take that up. They're just leaving it out.
All right.
But without God, you have nothing.
Okay.
Jesus himself said that without me, you can do nothing.
Right. Okay, Colin.
All right, have a blessed day.
Have a
God
nice one yourself, eh? All right, good. Okay, someone says this is it. We're not accepting any more calls. We have to head to the BBC. But quickly before we run off, while we discuss basic wage, we should also discuss a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. That is absolutely necessary. All right, someone says pay every week or every 2 weeks is not what needs to be discussed. How you spend and budget is more important. One of you callers stated he was a shopper. Some people just buy and don't shop for a better price. This is a good thing to impress on people. And I believe if you know that your next pay is not for 2 weeks, you will budget better. It all boils down to money management. Good morning, Mr. Host. Once again, your callers and our Facebook contributors spread false information. Grenada does not have the lowest minimum wage in the Eastern Caribbean. It's Dominica at $4.62 per hour. Grenada is $6 per hour. Thanks for your observation and your correction there. Okay. Okay. Folks, this is where we've got to wrap it up for today. All those of you who called and participated. Okay, someone quickly. This one sounds interesting. Good morning. Can it be a current affairs topic to investigate to what extent bi-monthly salary payments already exist in the state of Grenada? It's perhaps already existing within the private sector. What I do know, Dr. Cullen Gilchrist and his team, they're very capable, very competent people, and with the consultative approach that they've got, I expect them to come up with a very amicable solution to, or a smooth transition the bi-weekly stuff and also the minimum wage issue. But folks, we're out of time. So those of you who called and participated, thank you very much for being a part of the program. And if the good Lord spare your lives, we'll have a next one tomorrow. Bye for now.